Hello everybody, I'm Brendan from Nostalgica. I thought it would be cool today if we went through a recipe for a home electric drip maker. This is the Ratio 6 and this grinder here is the Fellow Ode Generation 2. Now when we started Nostalgica, it was really important to us that we work hard to make brewing easier for you at home. Now that's not an easy thing because if we all have different equipment, the recipes don't exactly translate. Your grinder might grind differently than ours and vice versa. So what we did was we just said, well, let's pick out some equipment that's really popular and effective on the market that you may or may not have, and we will make recipes for that equipment in hopes that some people have that equipment and others may go and purchase that equipment in the future, or at least it'll get you close and give you an idea. It may not exactly work perfectly for your system that you have at home, but maybe you'll find some patterns and figure it out. So let's start off with what's important for brewing. And the first thing is water. A Brita is okay, but what's even better is third wave water. And you can find them on Amazon. We send a packet of third wave water in your first coffee order as well because we think it's really important and very effective for brewing. So what I do is I take a packet of third wave water and 1 gallon of distilled water, which you can pick up at your grocery store, and I just kind of eyeball half a packet of third wave water. The reason I do that is a full packet I find can make the brew a touch harsh. It's still really good. You can totally do it, but it also, you kind of get a 2-for-1 deal. So about that one, right there. And then you'll just want to shake really well for about 30 seconds. So we'll let that sit and it's ready to go. Now, for the other components of our recipe, we're going to be using 63 grams of coffee, which I have the grinder set to 7 in 2 lines, almost 8, and we're going to use 950 grams of water, which ends up being about a 15-to-1 ratio, 15 parts water, 1 part coffee. 15-to-1 to about 17-to-1 is the industry standard. It's really important to get within that window if you want your coffee to taste great. So if you're brewing at home, the first thing that you can do to really improve your coffee, if you're not already doing it, is just buy any grams scale on Amazon or from wherever. They're fairly cheap, 10 to 20 bucks, and you can use it for cooking as well. So I would urge you to grab one if you don't have one already. So let's get started. And I like to measure in this handy little cup that comes with the grinder. While that's grinding, we can measure out 950 grams of water, third wave water. I like to measure right into this graph. And I always just weigh it again because I'm a little crazy. Set that on there. Now I'm going to show you a couple hacks. I've been using this the Ratio 6 for a while here, and it does a pretty good job, but you got to give it a little help. So what I've found is that the spray head doesn't cover the grounds in a uniform manner. It kind of finds its sweet spots, and so that's obviously not great for coffee because we want all the coffee to touch like the same amount of water for the same amount of time in order to get a uniform extraction. So we just got to help it out a little bit. So I don't use the top hat when brewing. I leave it open so I have access to the slurry. And I'll show you why in a minute. So the first stage of this brew, it's on bloom. The light, you can't see it, but it's blooming, which means it's going to pour some water onto the coffee, and then it's going to wait, it's going to stop, and it's going to let the CO2 degas, which preps the coffee bed for extraction. When the bloom stops, that's when I dive in and give it a little help. Another thing that I do to help it is I rotate this handle around just a little bit to try to get the water to touch all of the dry coffee. And I do that for like the first half of the brew until I see the water level kind of come up and I'm confident that I have an even coverage. So those are two things that I do that I found make a difference in the extraction and the taste of the coffee. And if you have kids running around, which we do sometimes, you don't have to do it. And then even now, I'll give it a little help. Now we can let it go for the most part. All right, so let's go ahead and taste the coffee and see how it goes. This is our Columbia Inza, which won't be on our menu for much longer, but it's a coffee that we source particularly for drip coffee because it's very versatile, pretty easy to extract. I think it's extracted pretty well. So also don't be afraid to scan this QR code. Every one of our bags has a QR code that will take you to our brew guides, which will lead you to the recipe for this, in case you forgot. I already forgot. So go ahead and scan those. It'll have a recipe for a pour over and for our drip home setup. Also, message us at our email listed on our website if you have any questions or you need advice on maybe your setup. We'll do the best we can. We really do want to help you brew better at home. So thanks for watching, guys, and looking forward to talking to you again.